The Moon of Xxene, Chapter 3, The Rule of Things, Scene 4. Aslan is also having a hard time with his tutors rejecting the late Prime Minister's old ways. At his session with the new royal tutors, they begin to instruct him from the 9 volumes of the classics of songs, the songs of government, though his previous tutors, directed by the late Prime Minister, had instructed him from the art of government, stalwart of wind and waves. They had already covered 2 of the 6 volumes. When he brings this up to the new tutors, they say that it is the Queen Dowager's will that they change his curriculum. The late Prime Minister's ways were too radical, and she had instructed them to remove all such documents from his curriculum. Aslan is also feeling constrained by the Queen Dowager's harsh schedule and expectations of him. As he leaves the study hall, a eunuch appointed by the Queen Dowager to monitor him tells him a list of his next scheduled activities. Aslan feels overwhelmed but remembers the Queen Dowager's words. You are Emeravwe, the Oroje of Xxene. Your duty is to the crown and kingdom. Aslan tells the eunuch he's on his way and sends him ahead. As he leaves to his next activity, one of the royal tutors, Royal Tutor Edoja, approaches him. He says that though he agrees that the late Prime Minister's ways tended to be unorthodox, there was much to be learned from the Oganegba school of thought and the art of government, and though all 6 volumes of the art of government had been removed from the royal library, he had a personal collection at home which he would be honored to let Ovie borrow if he pleased. Aslan says he would like that very much, and expresses his gratitude to the royal tutor, who replies that there is no need to thank him and takes his leave. As he watches the man go, Aslan asks Iroro if he sent someone to check on Prince Itiga. Iroro says, yes, when I received the report, the prince had completed a little over 150 bows. Aslan asks, how is he doing? And Iroro says simply that he had stopped crying. Aslan says, completing 400 bows will be punishing to his knees, so Iroro makes sure the royal physicians are ready to see to him as soon as he is finished, and make sure he has a proper meal delivered to him. Iroro says, I have already given notice to the physicians and the royal kitchen. At this point, Aslan recalls sadly how he promised his sovereign father that he would take care of his siblings. He thinks, but right now I am not Aslan and I am Ovie in name only. What can I do? Again, he thinks of the Queen Dowager's words, you are Ovie, and your duty is to the crown and kingdom. He asks Iroro, what does it mean to be Ovie? Iroro asks, what does Ovie mean? And Aslan says, we have always been told that we would be Ovie someday, and now we are. But what does it mean to be Ovie? What does it mean to rule a nation when we do not have command even over our own life? Who can I protect? He thinks. Eunuch Iroro comforts him, saying, being Ovie means that Oganet himself ordains and anoints Ovie with his supernatural blessing to lead the kingdom. It is because Ovie is still young that he must follow the Queen Dowager and minister's guidance. When he is older, he can truly take over his kingdom. Iroro says, right now, Her Majesty monitors Ovie's activities even more closely than she does Prince Itiga or Princess Ada. Ovie must not go against her. It may even make things more difficult for Lady Emeravwe. Aslan asks Iroro how Emeravwe is doing, and he says he has not sent any of his subordinates to check on her lately, for fear that the Dowager may catch on if he does so too frequently. Aslan wonders if Emeravwe is having a hard time, as he is. He says sadly, Iroro, we want to see her. Eunuch Iroro says empathetically, I understand. I have arranged for my subordinates in the outer palace to keep watch over her and periodically report to me. When an opportune time arrives, I will arrange for Ovie to meet her. Aslan asks expectantly, How is she doing? There's an uneasy silence. Aslan's face falls. Not well? Eunuch Iroro bends in the bow. May Ovie forgive me for not reporting to him. I did not wish to trouble him. Aslan's face darkens with worry. What is it? Iroro says, I received notice that the lady fell ill, but though her health has recovered, it seems she has lost her memories. What? Aslan is surprised. She lost her memories? How? Iroro says, I believe she was deeply traumatized by the events that occurred. Aslan asks, She does not remember anything? Iroro shakes his head. Not even us? Iroro shakes his head again. Aslan is silent for a long time, then thinks perhaps this is for the best. But he is heartbroken, and tears well up in his eyes. Yunakiro bends to his knees, trying to comfort him, but Aslan clutches his chest, breathing heavily and weeping. What do we do, Iroro? We are neither Ovie nor Aslan, and we cannot protect our siblings or Emeravwe. He faints. Thank you for listening and watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next episode.